Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. RHOC, Alexis Bellino slapped Shannon Beador in face for Xmas. Alexis Bellino is slapping RHOC star Shannon Beador right across the face in the early hours of Christmas. It appears that Bellino may be coming back to the hit Bravo reality series. At the very least, she may be making an appearance. Yet now she is stirring a pot, and it is perfection for viewers. Read on for more details. Shannon Beador spent much of season 17 trying to defend or cover up her few-year relationship with John Janssen. She maintained that he was a private man and did not want their dirty laundry aired everywhere. However, her close co-stars alleged that Shannon would call and vent to them about him and how bad he could be. By the time the reunion came around, Shannon confirmed that they were mostly friends with benefits. He was there for her during her DUI arrest, and then he was seen with Alexis Bellino. Bellino was a RHOC housewife until the end of season 8, and then she was gone. She and her husband, Jim Bellino, divorced, but she found love again and did get engaged. That has since ended, and she was linked with John Janssen. Additionally, she has reconciled with some of her former co-stars and was primed for a return. Though the two initially denied a romance, it was eventually confirmed that John and Alexis were seeing each other. Now, with the holidays upon us, Alexis took to Instagram to show off her gift from her beau. Apparently, John gifted the mother of 3 with a gorgeous ring. In the caption, Alexis Bellino wrote this: "Words cannot. Actions do. I will no longer feel guilty. I will not apologize. Love will create its own story. I love you, Johnny J. #LoveWins, #NoteEngaged, #promised, #Merry Christmas at Van Cleef Arpels." She turned off the comments so that no one could add any negativity, but it was picked up by a fan page and comments were flowing. Phil Bod cringe GYS. This post is like a 7th grader wrote it. What in the actually F? They've been dating for 5 mins. Those two are so thirsty. Fans could not help but note that this was something tweens and teenagers do in regard to the promise ring. Others believed that Alexis Bellino's ring was not even cute, and then some wondered how Shannon Beador felt. Poor Shannon. I hope she's strong enough to not break her sobriety over this. Once Shannon was sentenced after her DUI arrest, she remained committed to a sober lifestyle, but this cannot be easy, especially with Alexis parading her new ring around. In the glitzy, drama-infused world of the Real Housewives of Orange County, every event, no matter how seemingly mundane, has the potential to erupt into chaos. This year's Christmas gala was no different. The decorations were lush and extravagant, with strings of fairy lights cascading like frozen waterfalls from towering pines and tables draped in crimson and gold. The faint scent of pine mingled with the luxurious perfumes worn by the ladies as they moved like peacocks, their gowns glittering under the chandelier's shimmer. Alexis Bellino had made her grand reappearance, stepping back into the spotlight after a long hiatus. She was resplendent in an emerald green gown that hugged her every curve, adorned with subtle sequins that twinkled like stars. Her entrance drew eyes and whispers, a reminder of the power she once wielded in the circle. Some of the housewives smiled warmly, genuinely, or otherwise, while others arched perfectly penciled eyebrows in surprise or disdain. But one gaze was colder than the rest, Shannon Beador's. Shannon, clad in a red velvet dress with diamond-studded earrings that caught the light each time she tilted her head, had watched Alexis with a thinly veiled look of annoyance. Their past was a tangle of misunderstandings and power struggles, both publicly displayed and privately felt. This night, Shannon had made a silent promise to keep things civil, but as the evening unfolded, the temptation of old grudges stirred within her. The chatter of the party swirled around them, punctuated by the clinking of crystal glasses and the gentle hum of Christmas carols played by a live band. Vicky Gunvalson was in the corner regaling a small audience with stories of her latest vacation, and Tamara Judge was engaged in a playful exchange with Heather Dubrow about whose holiday spread had more Michelin stars approval. Alexis finally approached Shannon, a flash of determination in her eyes that cut through the festive air. She held a glass of champagne, its surface bubbling like the tension between them. "Shannon," Alexis began, her voice smooth but firm, "we need to talk." Shannon turned with a smile so sharp it could have been crafted by a jeweler. "Do we, Alexis? I thought we had buried everything under the 10 feet of history." Alexis's laugh was light but pointed. "Funny, I thought Christmas was about confronting things and making peace." "Confronting things?" Shannon's voice lifted, drawing a few curious glances from nearby guests. She sipped her wine, maintaining eye contact. "Darling, if you wanted to confront something, you should have done it years ago. What's changed now?" The warmth of the room suddenly felt suffocating. It was as though every ornament, every twinkle of a light, had been set to witness this moment. Alexis set her champagne down on the table with an almost imperceptible tremor in her hand. The memories of their past disagreements, the snide remarks, the off-camera accusations, the eye rolls that needed no words, all threatened to spill out. "What's changed, Shannon, is that I'm tired of pretending. Tired of the smiles and nods when we both know there's a lot left unsaid. So let's just put it out there." Shannon's smile faded, replaced by a mask of annoyance. "I think it's best we keep this civilized. This is a holiday party, after all, and some of us have grown past petty spats." "Grown past?" Alexis echoed, her voice taut with barely contained fury. "Like you've grown past dragging my name through the mud? Or was that just your idea of holiday cheer?" A hush seemed to descend over their part of the room. Other conversations dwindled to a murmur as eyes darted towards them. Shannon's cheeks flushed as she felt the weight of attention. "I don't have time for your martyr act, Alexis. This isn't." But before Shannon could finish, Alexis moved in one swift motion. The slap was sudden, sharp, and echoed in the stunned silence that followed. Gasps rippled through the crowd like a shockwave, and Vicky's mouth dropped open mid-story. Even the band faltered, their notes trailing off awkwardly. Shannon's head turned sharply with the impact, her hair catching the light as she steadied herself, eyes wide with a mix of disbelief and rage. Her hand flew to her cheek, feeling the heat of where Alexis's palm had struck. "How dare you?" Shannon's voice shook, but it was unclear whether it was with anger or embarrassment. Maybe both. Alexis, her eyes glistening under the twinkle of the Christmas lights, took a shaky breath. "I've dared, Shannon. Because sometimes enough is enough." The room was frozen, held hostage by the intensity between them. Heather Dubrow stepped forward, her face a mixture of amusement and shock. "Ladies, let's not turn this into an episode for the ages." But the damage was done. Shannon's expression hardened, her eyes glinting with a storm that promised retribution. She took a deep breath, steadying her voice before she spoke, cold and clipped. "Merry Christmas to you too, Alexis. It looks like the Grinch didn't steal Christmas after all. He just walked in wearing green." Alexis's lips twitched into a thin smile. "And some things never change, Shannon, not even under the mistletoe." Tamara, always one to jump into the middle of things, sidled up and whispered with mock seriousness, "Can we at least wait until the Secret Santa gift exchange? I don't want to miss who brought the tacky reindeer socks." Laughter, nervous and relieved, rippled through the room. It was the kind of laughter that filled the uncomfortable silence with something lighter, trying to stitch the fabric of the evening back together. The band resumed, their chords picking up where they left off, trying to usher the party back into the spirit of the season. But even as the party resumed its boisterous cheer, the tension lingered. The slap was more than just a moment. It was a reminder that in this glittery world of privilege and parties, the past never stays buried. It rises, rears back, and sometimes, It strikes with the force of a holiday revelation.